Have you ever experienced a moment that felt strangely familiar, as though you had lived it before? These persistent déjà vu experiences are not mere coincidences or neurological glitches. They are spiritual breadcrumbs leading back to your previous incarnations. When you find yourself in a situation that triggers that unmistakable sense of recognition, your soul is actually remembering a similar experience from another lifetime. These déjà vu moments often occur in seemingly mundane scenarios, yet they carry a profound spiritual significance. The sensation is your higher self communicating that you've walked this path before. Unlike ordinary memories, these experiences arrive with an ethereal quality, a knowing beyond logical explanation. They serve as gentle reminders that your current existence is but one chapter in your soul's extended journey. Similarly revealing is the inexplicable attraction many souls feel towards specific historical periods or cultures. This isn't simple curiosity, but a soul-level recognition. Perhaps you feel deeply drawn to ancient Egypt, medieval Japan, or Renaissance Italy without logical explanation. You might find yourself collecting artifacts, studying languages, or immersing yourself in traditions from these times. This magnetism exists because your soul has memories embedded within it, experiences, relationships, and lessons from these environments that shaped your spiritual development. As Cayce once explained, these connections aren't random, but evidence of your soul's previous dwelling places. The civilizations that fascinate you most likely hosted your consciousness during crucial developmental phases. The music, art, or philosophy that feels like coming home to you represents spiritual environments where your soul once flourished. Unexplained fears and phobias constitute another powerful indicator of past incarnations. Many people harbor intense, irrational fears that cannot be traced to any experience in their current lifetime. Perhaps you have an overwhelming fear of water, heights, fire, or enclosed spaces without having suffered any trauma related to these elements. These fears may be emotional imprints carried forward from dramatic endings or traumatic experiences in previous lives. A soul who once perished in a fire may carry an instinctive terror of flames. Someone who drowned might experience panic attacks near large bodies of water. These visceral responses aren't psychological quirks, but soul memories, your spiritual being remembering dangers it once faced. The intensity of these fears often corresponds to how recently the trauma occurred in your soul's timeline, or how significant the experience was to your development. Natural talents and innate abilities that emerge without training further suggest the continuity of your soul across multiple lifetimes. Children who display remarkable skills in music, mathematics, languages, or other domains without formal instruction are accessing knowledge their souls accumulated previously. When you find yourself instinctively understanding complex concepts or demonstrating abilities that surprise even you, these are skills your soul perfected long before your current physical form existed. The spiritual wisdom teaches that nothing is ever truly forgotten by the soul. The lessons, mastery, and capabilities developed across lifetimes remain accessible, though often subconsciously. Individuals who demonstrate extraordinary talent at young ages aren't anomalies. Their souls efficiently retrieving their spiritual inheritance. Their abilities aren't gifts so much as reclaimed spiritual assets earned through dedication in previous existences. Consider how these four evidences manifest in your own experience. Have you felt the mysterious certainty of déjà vu? Do you feel inexplicably drawn to distant times and places? Are you troubled by fears that logic cannot explain? Have abilities emerged in you that seem to come from beyond your current lifetime of learning? These experiences are not random or meaningless. They are spiritual signposts directing you toward greater self-understanding. By acknowledging these echoes from your soul's journey, you begin to access a deeper comprehension of your spiritual identity. You are not merely who you appear to be in this lifetime, but a timeless consciousness, gathering wisdom across the ages. The recognition of these patterns in your experience is the first step toward conscious participation in your ongoing spiritual evolution. The vividness and historical accuracy of certain dreams provide compelling evidence of your soul's journey through multiple lifetimes. Unlike ordinary dreams that process daily experiences, these special dream sequences unfold with remarkable clarity and detail, often featuring unfamiliar yet intimately known settings, customs, and individuals from different historical periods. You might find yourself navigating ancient streets, speaking languages you've never studied, or engaging in cultural practices you couldn't possibly know through your current life experience. These historical dreams carry a distinctive quality that sets them apart. They don't feel like fantasies, but rather like accessing actual memories. You might wake with lingering emotions, detailed knowledge of specific locations, or even the ability to describe architectural features or cultural practices from times long past. The spiritual teachings suggest that during sleep, when the conscious mind relaxes its barriers, your soul more easily accesses its vast repository of experiences across time. These aren't mere imaginings, but glimpses into your soul's diverse experiences throughout its evolutionary journey. Equally significant is the inexplicable recognition you might experience upon meeting certain individuals. This phenomenon goes beyond casual déjà vu. It's an immediate, profound sense of knowing someone you've just met. Perhaps you've encountered someone and instantly felt a deep trust, uncommon familiarity, or even completed each other's thoughts despite having no prior contact in this lifetime. These soul recognitions occur because your spirits have encountered each other before, perhaps as family members, friends, mentors, or even adversaries in previous incarnations. The spiritual teaching explains that souls often travel together in groups, reuniting across different lifetimes to continue their collective evolution and resolve unfinished business. These soul contracts bring individuals together at precisely the right moments for continued growth. The intensity of the connection often reflects the significance of your previous relationship. Particularly powerful bonds, whether positive or challenging, suggest important soul agreements that transcend physical death. When you experience that unmistakable recognition, your soul is acknowledging a familiar spiritual energy it has encountered before. Many reincarnated souls also report a persistent feeling of not belonging in the current world, a subtle but pervasive sense that this physical reality is not their true home. You might experience this as an inexplicable nostalgia for places you've never visited, a sense of being out of step with contemporary values, or difficulty relating to modern concerns that others find important. This feeling emerges because your soul retains awareness of its broader existence beyond physical incarnation. This sensation doesn't indicate that you shouldn't be here, but rather reflects your soul's awareness of its more expansive nature. The spiritual perspective teaches that souls choose specific incarnations for particular learning experiences, making this life a deliberate but temporary assignment rather than your permanent residence. This understanding often creates a certain detachment from materialistic pursuits and a natural orientation towards spiritual growth. You may find yourself more concerned with soul development than conventional success, intuitively recognizing the transitory nature of physical existence. Another profound indicator of your reincarnated nature appears in experiences of inexplicable empathy, emotional connections, and understanding that extend far beyond your direct experience. You might find yourself deeply affected by historical events, moved to tears by the suffering of people in distant countries, or able to comprehend emotional states you've never personally encountered. This expanded empathy reflects your soul's accumulated experiences across diverse human conditions throughout many lifetimes. Having lived as various genders, races, social classes, and in different cultural contexts, your soul carries the emotional understanding of countless human experiences. This expanded perspective allows you to intuitively grasp others' emotional realities without having walked in their specific shoes during this lifetime. When you feel someone else's pain as though it were your own, or understand complex emotional situations without explanation, you're accessing the collective wisdom your soul has gathered through its numerous incarnations. Mysterious birthmarks or inexplicable physical characteristics provide tangible evidence of your soul's continued journey. Spiritual wisdom suggests that significant physical trauma experienced in previous lives can manifest as birthmarks or distinctive features in subsequent incarnations. These physical markers often correspond to fatal wounds, significant injuries, or other physically impactful experiences from past lifetimes. A circular birthmark might indicate a bullet wound. A linear mark could represent a sword injury. Areas of unusual sensitivity might correlate to sites of previous trauma. The body carries these imprints as physical testimony to experiences that shaped the soul's journey. They serve as material anchors for important spiritual lessons, reminding the soul of significant experiences, even when conscious memory has been veiled. As you continue to explore the spiritual evidences of your reincarnated nature, consider how these four aspects manifest in your own experience. They form not just theoretical concepts, but living indications of your soul's extensive journey through time and space. The soul carries maps of its previous journeys, often manifesting as powerful, unexplained attractions to specific geographical locations. You might experience an overwhelming pull towards certain cities, countries, or landscapes without logical explanation. Places you've never visited yet somehow recognize on a profound level. Upon finally reaching these locations, many report an immediate sense of homecoming, familiar comfort, or inexplicable knowledge about local features. These aren't mere travel preferences, but spiritual echoes resonating across time. This geographical resonance occurs because your soul retains impressions of environments where it previously dwelled. Perhaps you feel drawn to the misty highlands of Scotland, the bustling energy of Tokyo, or the ancient streets of Jerusalem, without understanding why. When you arrive, you might navigate unfamiliar paths with surprising ease, or feel emotional connections to specific buildings, natural formations, or cultural practices. The spiritual teaching reveals that these places hold energetic imprints of your previous existences, locations where your soul experienced significant growth, formed important relationships, or completed meaningful work. The intensity of this connection often correlates with the significance of your experiences in these places. Locations where you lived multiple lifetimes, experienced profound spiritual awakening, or formed deep soul connections create particularly strong pulls across incarnations. This explains why certain destinations call to you persistently throughout your life, sometimes influencing major decisions around travel, relocation, or study. Your soul recognizes environments where it once flourished, or where important unfinished business remains. Equally revealing is the phenomenon of precocious wisdom, spiritual insights that emerge at ages when such understanding seems impossible. Children who speak profoundly about metaphysical concepts, demonstrate unusual compassion, or express ethical frameworks beyond their years, reveal souls carrying forward accumulated wisdom from previous incarnations. This spiritual precocity manifests as a natural understanding of universal principles, ethical clarity, or philosophical depth that transcends their limited life experience. Young souls who speak about the nature of consciousness, demonstrate unusual compassion for suffering, or show innate understanding of spiritual laws are accessing knowledge they developed across many lifetimes. Their insights aren't random or imaginary, but reflect genuine spiritual development carried forward. When children make statements like, "Everyone is connected," "I chose you as my parents," or display understanding about the continuity of consciousness beyond physical death, they're expressing awareness their souls retained while transitioning between incarnations. This phenomenon appears not just in explicit spiritual statements, but also in a child's approach to life, unusual patience, natural forgiveness, or instinctive understanding of moral principles without extensive teaching. These qualities suggest a soul that has already learned certain lessons thoroughly enough that they've become integrated into its essential nature. Rather than starting fresh with each incarnation, souls build upon their spiritual development across lifetimes, sometimes retaining remarkable access to this wisdom even in early childhood. The sensation of having unfinished business or an incomplete mission represents another compelling sign of your reincarnated nature. Many souls return with specific purposes: healing relationship patterns, completing creative work, advancing particular causes, or resolving karmic imbalances from previous lives. This manifests as a persistent feeling that there's something specific you came here to accomplish, even if you can't articulate exactly what it entails. You might experience this as a driving sense of purpose, inexplicable dedication to certain ideals, or the feeling that you must fulfill particular objectives before your time here concludes. This mission-oriented consciousness often reveals itself through recurring themes in your life, challenges that present themselves repeatedly until resolved, relationships with similar patterns, or professional paths that consistently lead toward particular types of service or creation. The spiritual understanding suggests that souls frequently choose incarnations specifically to address unresolved matters or continue important spiritual work. When you feel drawn towards certain activities or causes with unusual passion and persistence, you're likely responding to soul-level commitments that transcend your current lifetime. The evidence becomes particularly compelling when these callings don't align with your upbringing, environmental influences, or apparent self-interest. Perhaps you feel compelled toward environmental protection despite no family history in this area, drawn to healing work though it requires personal sacrifice, or pulled toward specific social justice causes without clear personal benefit. These missions often emerge from patterns established across multiple lifetimes. Healing work begun centuries ago, creative expression developed through successive incarnations, or service commitments extended across time. As you reflect on these four spiritual indicators, consider how they manifest in your own experience. Do certain places call to you without explanation? Have you displayed wisdom or understanding beyond what your years or education would suggest? Do you feel a persistent sense of mission or purpose that transcends logical explanation? These aren't coincidences or psychological curiosities, but meaningful indications of your soul's extended journey, breadcrumbs leading toward greater spiritual self-awareness. Each of these evidences points toward the same fundamental truth. You are not merely a physical being having occasional spiritual experiences, but rather a spiritual being navigating a temporary physical experience. Your soul's journey extends far beyond the brief span of your current incarnation, carrying forward the accumulated wisdom, connections, and purposes developed across countless lifetimes of experience. When we recognize the signs of our reincarnated nature, we face an important question. How do we integrate this awareness into our present lifetime? Understanding your soul's extended journey isn't merely interesting spiritual trivia. It offers transformative potential for your current existence. By consciously working with these 12 evidences, you can access deeper meaning, accelerate your spiritual growth, and fulfill your soul's purpose with greater clarity and intention. The first step toward integration involves acknowledging the patterns these evidences reveal in your life. Reflect on which signs resonate most strongly with your experience. Perhaps your déjà vu experiences concentrate around certain relationships or environments. Maybe your unexplained fears cluster around specific scenarios. Your natural talents might point toward particular types of service or expression. By identifying these patterns, you begin to discern the broader themes of your soul's journey, the lessons, relationships, and purposes that have remained consistent across multiple incarnations. This recognition allows you to approach your current challenges from a more expansive perspective. Difficult relationships can be understood as opportunities to resolve karmic patterns rather than random misfortunes. Persistent obstacles might represent lessons your soul has chosen to master in this lifetime. Even physical limitations can be viewed as deliberately chosen conditions for specific spiritual growth. When you recognize that your current experiences form just one chapter in your soul's extended development, you gain both patience with difficulties and appreciation for the precise spiritual curriculum you've selected. The spiritual teachings also suggest practical approaches for accessing your soul's accumulated wisdom more consciously. Meditation practices that focus on quieting the conscious mind allow deeper access to soul memories and intuitive knowledge. Journaling about your dreams, especially those with historical elements, helps bridge the gap between conscious awareness and soul-level knowing. Creative expression, whether through art, music, writing, or movement, often bypasses intellectual barriers, allowing soul memories to surface through intuitive channels. Working with your spiritual evidences might also involve exploring the specific areas where your soul shows greatest resonance. If you feel drawn to particular historical periods, studying those times might reveal important patterns relevant to your current life lessons. If certain places call to you, visiting them, even virtually, could activate important soul memories. When you meet someone with whom you feel immediate recognition, approaching the relationship with awareness of possible past connections can help you understand its purpose in your current journey. As Cayce's spiritual philosophy explains, reincarnation isn't random but purposeful. Each lifetime represents a carefully chosen opportunity for specific development. Understanding this purposefulness allows you to approach your current incarnation as a precious opportunity rather than a cosmic accident or punishment. The challenges you face weren't arbitrarily assigned, but selected by your higher self for important reasons. This perspective transforms difficulties from meaningless suffering into meaningful growth opportunities within your soul's broader evolution. The spiritual evidences of reincarnation also illuminate the interconnectedness of all souls across time. Your inexplicable empathy for others reflects more than abstract compassion. It represents genuine recognition of your shared journey with countless other souls throughout history. This understanding naturally dissolves artificial boundaries of nationality, race, religion, and even species, revealing a fundamental unity that transcends temporary physical distinctions. When you recognize others as fellow travelers on an extended spiritual journey, genuine compassion emerges naturally from this awareness of shared experience. Particularly significant is the understanding that physical death represents not an ending, but a transition within your soul's continuous development. This awareness doesn't diminish the importance of your current lifetime, but rather places it within a meaningful context. You're neither beginning from scratch nor facing ultimate conclusion, but rather experiencing one crucial phase in an ongoing spiritual unfoldment. This perspective naturally reduces fear around physical mortality while heightening appreciation for the unique opportunities your current incarnation provides. The integration of soul awareness also involves recognizing the wisdom of timing within your spiritual journey. Perhaps certain talents remain dormant until needed for specific purposes. Relationships might appear precisely when their lessons become relevant to your development. Even challenges emerge when your soul has developed sufficient strength to transform them into growth. Nothing in your experience is accidental. Each element appears according to the deeper wisdom of your soul's evolutionary timetable. As you work consciously with these 12 spiritual evidences, remember that full soul awareness unfolds gradually. Brief glimpses of recognition grow into deeper understanding through consistent attention and spiritual practice. The veils between incarnations weren't established to punish, but to allow focused development within each lifetime. Your conscious mind receives exactly the level of soul awareness it can productively integrate at each stage of your journey. The ultimate purpose of recognizing your reincarnated nature isn't to become fixated on past lives, but to live your current incarnation with greater awareness, purpose, and compassion. Each of the 12 evidences points toward the same fundamental truth. You are an eternal spiritual being, temporarily expressing through physical form for specific developmental purposes. This understanding doesn't separate you from present reality, but rather enriches your engagement with it, allowing you to participate more consciously in your own spiritual evolution. By recognizing and honoring the breadcrumbs your soul has left throughout your current lifetime, the déjà vu moments, the inexplicable connections, the natural talents, the mysterious knowings, you gradually access the fuller dimensions of who you truly are. This expanded self-awareness doesn't diminish your humanity, but enhances it, allowing you to bring the accumulated wisdom of many lifetimes to the precise challenges and opportunities your soul has chosen for this incarnation. In this integration lies the true gift of spiritual remembering, not escape from present reality, but profound conscious participation in your soul's extraordinary journey across time and eternity. Did these 12 spiritual evidences resonate with your experiences? If you felt those unexplainable déjà vu moments, recognized souls you've never met, or sensed a deeper purpose calling you, you're experiencing the echoes of your eternal journey. Your story continues beyond this video. Subscribe now to receive more spiritual insights that will illuminate your soul's path. Share your own reincarnation experiences in the comments below. Which of these 12 signs spoke most deeply to you? Your comment might help another soul recognize their own spiritual journey. Click that subscribe button and join our community of awakening souls. Together, we'll explore the profound wisdom that transcends lifetimes.